YouTube, I'm back. What's poppin'? It's been a while. So recently I've been getting back into World of Warcraft after a long break, and there's a new Classic Plus survey that just dropped from a content creator named Jordy. I'll have a link in the description down below if you want to check it out yourself. I thought it would be fun to do this on stream, so like, comment, and subscribe down below if you want to support me, and I'll see you in the next one. Classic Plus Introduction Survey. Thanks for taking the time to do our Classic Plus Intro Survey. So demographics and server game settings. What faction do you put? For the Horde. I'm not no stinky smooth skin. What race would you consider your main? Oh, man. Whatever's best for the thing I'm doing. Yo, honestly, on God, whatever's best for the class I feel like playing. What class do you consider your main? I don't know. I kind of just like, I don't really have a whole bunch. Right now, Paladin, I guess. I like Warrior, and then maybe Shaman. I'll pick these three, but I also like Priest. I'll do these four. How old am I? Damn, boys. Damn, boys. I'm getting up there. I'm unk. How often do you play WoW each week? Could it be 10? Could it be over 10? I'll say this. I play at least a couple days or a couple hours a day, probably, on my days off. What's your experience with the various iterations of Vanilla, Classic, World of Warcraft? Okay. I did not do the old ones. Only expansions beyond Vanilla. I've never played Vanilla. Never did private servers. Didn't do SOM. Didn't do... Or I think I did Classic Annie. And then Classic Relaunch, maybe? Yeah. What roles do I usually play? Various. Play kind of everything. What regions do you play from? North America, baby. The laughing stock of the fucking world. Alright, which of the following labels describes you? PvPer, and then maybe leveler. I literally have never raided before, so I can't even say casual raider. You know what I mean? I would like to get there. I'd like to find a guild to raid with. How likely are you to play Classic Plus? Oh, I mean, I can't wait to log in. It's gonna be fun. Would you pay a box fee for Classic Plus? If so, how much? That's a great question. In my ideal world, just my active subscription. Like, that would be sick. Just a subscription to play it, but I'd pay 40 bucks. I'd pay 40 bucks. On a scale of 1 to 10, how would you feel about Classic Plus if they changed how the game looked? Unreal-esque graphics, lighting count? I think they keep the graphics. Keep the graphics 2004. I don't want them to touch the models. I think you keep everything the same, like the animations, the spell effects, sure. But modern WoW UI. I like the edit mode, actually. I don't have a problem with it. I like the Dragonflight UI. I actually used it for a while in Classic Plus with an add-on. I'll say like 3. I'll say like 3. I'll go 4 actually, because I actually do kind of like the UI. How would you like Blizzard to handle the server rollout? Many servers at launch, PvP, PvE, couple RP like Vanilla Classic launched with, condensed server list like SOD, 1 mega PvP server with faction balance? Yes. This is what I want. 1 giant PvP server, 1 PvE server. Boom. And then you just have layers, dude. Like, isn't that like the perfect idea? Just having everybody, like 100,000 people on one server? I don't know. Maybe that's just me. How would you feel if Classic Plus had an element of seasonal servers resetting every couple years? It's hard. Man, I'm such a new WoW player. Like, I've been playing RuneScape for so long, like OSRS, and the thought of resetting your progress is weird to me. But it is a different game, right? Like RuneScape, it's not about, there's no power creep with the gear that you have. In RuneScape, gear is situational, and there's best in slot for different bosses, raids, like whatever. But that's not the way WoW is. I don't know. I guess it just depends. I'm not sure how to answer that. How would you feel about layers in Classic Plus? I don't know. I don't really care about layers, man. It is what it is. Should the size of raids be reduced from 40? Now, here's the thing. I don't really have experience with raiding because I'm a fucking giga noob. I'm just a leveler and a PvPer. Reduced, okay, keep it at 40. Reduce required raid size, but implement flex rating so we can bring more players and the challenge stays the same. No, I think that's flex. So what? What does that mean? like the raid would balance itself depending on how many players you have. That sounds dumb. I don't think I like that. Reduce required raid size to 20 and allow me to bring more than 20. No. I'm gonna say no opinion because I haven't raided, so I really don't have like any thoughts on it. Should Dungeon Finder be implemented? Yes, but only to group you. Yes, I actually really like the Dungeon Finder we have right now, right? Should summoning stones outside of dungeons and raids be implemented? No, I think they're stupid. I think you have to actually go to the dungeon. For me, learning where the dungeons were was part of the experience. Like, okay, this is I'm doing rested XP. It's telling me I need to go to Shadowfang Keep. Okay, where the hell is Shadowfang Keep? Right? And that was knowledge that I didn't have that I learned, right? I actually hate being teleported to dungeons. I feel like it takes me out of the game. Should there be heroic dungeons? I've never done one, so I'll say no opinion. I feel like the popular opinion from what I've seen is like, no, heroic dungeons are silly. But should there be rated PvE in Classic Plus? Mythic Plus, Mage Tower, Prestige levels, level 60 rating leaderboards. I actually think that's fucking dope. I think rated PvE would be dope. Like having leaderboards for shit. Like if somebody, like if you're like the top 5 DPS mages, like there's a leaderboard for it. I also think, high key, there should be solo PvE content as well. Maybe that's me just like changing the game too much, but that would be sick. Should there be rated PvP? Yes, for sure. Should AoE be looting or AoE looting be implemented? Fuck no. Mages already have way too much of an easy time leveling. You better click on every single goddamn piece of loot that you want, dude. What features of world buffs would you want to see in Classic Plus? You see, like, this is another thing that I don't have experience with because I've never raided. So I'll say no opinion. How would you feel if Classic Plus trimmed the capabilities of add-ons and weak auras? I actually, high-key, think the idea of, oh, I can't play the game without weak auras is stupid. I'm actually glad that I think they got rid of it in retail, didn't they? I'd be happy to see them go. I think you should be able to see the raid and learn the mechanics by playing it. Like, I don't want to have like deadly boss mods or like weak auras to know. Like, it should be all implemented in the game, right? I feel like that's something that Blizzard needs to figure out. Like, all of this stuff shouldn't be add-ons. You should be able to do it in game. Should mount level requirements be lowered? What is it? Level 40 in Classic? Nah, keep it. It's fine. Should flying mounts be implemented? Hell no. Should guild banks be implemented? Yes. Should Classic Plus have achievements? Yes, that would be cool. But it shouldn't be like, I mean, there's going to be corny ones like reach level 10, 20, 30. But there should be like cool achievements. And then you should either get like, you should get something out of it. Like a title or maybe cosmetics or something. That would be cool. But yes, you should have achievements. That would be sick. Should reputations be streamlined and made easier to level? Yes, they are a fucking grind. Actually, I'm gonna say no, bro. Is that crazy? That's part of the grind. I think maybe just add more ways to do it. I'm gonna say yes. How do you feel about adding transmog? I absolutely hate transmog in any game, dude. Like, it's actually just, it tilts me. I like getting a piece of gear, putting that piece of gear on as like a reward for getting it. Like, you look way badass, dude. I don't know. I just hate the idea of transmog. Like, I don't want to have 2 weapons that are like salmons. And like, I don't know. Should a separated collections inventory be implemented? Toys and mounts. What do you mean by that? Yes? Wait, a separate inventory for it? Oh, I think I know what that, yeah, I actually don't care. I don't think I care either way. It's like, whatever. I'd be kind of down. Yeah, you like open up your mount inventory and you can like select favorites and say, yeah, that's fine. That's cool. Should Classic Plus allow GDKPs? What the hell is a GDKP? Gold Dragon Kill Points is a World of Warcraft raid loot system where gear is auctioned for in-game gold instead of using dice rolls or DKP points. What? Participants bid on items and the total gold collected is split equally among the raiders at the end, making it popular for gearing alts or earning gold. What? No, just have a fucking master looter and roll for it, dude. What the hell? Who cares? What even is that? It's like solving a problem that doesn't exist, no? Should the level cap ever be increased from 60? I think no, but then it's like, how do you add? Maybe, dude. I think it's probably like depend, right? Because if you're not increasing the level cap, then what do you do at endgame to keep the grind going, right? In World of Warcraft. Reputation grinds, mount grinds, quests, gear. But once you do everything, I don't know. I'm just gonna say depends. You literally have to see how the game works, right? Should Classic Plus have new zones? Yes. Actually, wait, keep the original zones and just expand on them. Yes, please. I'm down for that. Because RuneScape adds new shit, new areas. That's cool. Where in Azeroth or beyond would be okay. I mean, anywhere on Azeroth, right? Is chill. Yeah, no other, like, dimensions or anything, I think. That gets too crazy. Should new content be added for leveling? Yes. Should leveling be sped up? No. I think the leveling process is the fun of it, right? So no. Should there be more class-specific quests? Yes. Or, yeah. Yes, but only lock spells. No. I think, dude, just add more quests. Yeah, do more class-specific everything, right? Give your class so much more identity. Make it special. Should there be more epic quest lines? Yes, add more quests. Yeah, that'd be sick. Which of the following best describes how you'd like to see changes in Classic Plus to old raids? I prefer the old raids. Tune them as they needed for any change in player power. Add more complex, difficult mechanics similar to the season. Plus add new bosses. I think you can keep the old raids the way they were. And then when you come out with new raids, that's like when you start adding like the mechanics and stuff, I think. So I'm going to say you keep the old raids how they were. Should there be new raids? Yes. Yes, but only stuff that exists in the original Azeroth. Yes, proposed raids that exist in the world, plus create some new interesting content. Yeah, that sounds about right. Should Classic Plus have new playable races? Ooh, I think no. I think just keep the original 8. But a lot of Horde players have a problem with not having a pretty class. Or a pretty race, but I don't care. I like my green skins, you know? I think just keep the original 8. Should they have new classes? Ooh. I think having new classes you've never seen before would be fun. Maybe. Like new classes specific to Classic Plus that you can't play in retail. That would be cool. But what would you make? You know? I'm not sure. I'm not smart enough to answer that question. Should new race class combos be added? Only stuff within the lore that makes sense to keep factions races feeling unique. Yes. Yeah, because like, what would you add? Like a rogue Tauren? What the hell? Or like an undead shaman? That's weird. Nah. Should the Horde have paladins and the Alliance shamans? No. Faction identity is very important, I think. Like, it's cool that Horde has paladins in TBC, but if you want a shaman, you play Horde. If you want a paladin on your raid, you play Alliance, you know? I like how that separates them and gives them identity. Should classes be reworked? New base abilities and spells, class roll combinations. None of the classes have distinct class fantasies that make each playthrough unique. Some quality of life adds. I think quality of life. Yeah, totemic recall is cool. Warlock summoning gate. Yeah. Yeah, rogue combo points. Some new spells that modernize. I think we stick with this and then we can like change it later on, you know? Of the following, what is the most important change needed to raid buffs in Classic? Again, I don't really have an opinion. Never got that far. I'm a noob. Sorry, guys. Should talent specs be reworked? I think a little bit, maybe. You can change it a little bit. I think it would be cool to see enhancement shamans be able to tank. I think it would be easy. I think you could just maybe just put a couple of talents in there, and then maybe give them a taunt. And you could do it. I think you could do it. Should a 4th new talent spec be added for classes? Guardian Druid, Tank, Shaman. Ooh, maybe that's what I'm saying with this. So what would Guardian Druid be? It would just be like a tank spec instead of Feral, and then Feral would just be DPS? I don't know. Limited to hybrid classes with roles that don't get fleshed out. I don't know. Yes. You know what? Why not, dude? Should every specialization be competitive in both PvE and PvP? I think everything should be doable, but things should be better with balance. Like should obviously be like a meta, right? But if I want to go in as like a ret pally and do DPS in PvP or PvE, same thing with like, if I want to be like a balanced druid, you know what I mean? You should be able to do it, it's just not great, right? Vanilla hybrid classes don't perform well in PvE outside of healing. Let's do that, yeah. Those classes could use a bit of love. Should dual spec be implemented? Yes, but you have to go to a trainer to change your spec, I think. You should have to go to, like, your class trainer and say, I want to change my spec. Should new professions be added? Yes. More content. Should professions be updated? Yes. I'm not a robot. Okay. Hell yeah. Dude, let's go. We did it, boys. Oh my god, there's so many more surveys. Holy shit. Holy guac. 5, 3, 4. Holy shring. I would do these another day, probably. Holy guac. That's cool, though. Hey, that's my opinion, boys. That's my opinion. I'm happy with that.